My name is Davini Rani, and today is the presentation on African literature, and I'm going to present on motherhood in Joys of Motherhood, the Universal Happiness. This is my academic information, and this is the table of content. These are some questions which I addressing in the this my presentation. Let us start with a brief introduction of the author. Buchi Imecheta was the Nigerian novelist, playwright, and the essayist. She was the Nigerian born and the British author. She is widely regarded as one of the most important African female writer of her generation, and she known for insightful exploration of African women's life, and especially in post-colonial Nigeria. She moved to England in 1960 for education and faced challenges as an immigrant, as a single mother. And in his work, he used themes like gender, identity, colonialism, and motherhood in African societies. These are some notable works of her: The Choice of Motherhood, Second Class Citizen, The Bride Price, and The Slave Girl. Her contribution to literature widespread claim for illuminating the resilience and agency of African women. And Imicheta's work often reflect her feminist perspective and her commitment to give voice to the experience of African women. This is the introduction of novel The Choice of Motherhood. It is published in 1979, and it is set in post-colonial Nigeria. This story follows the life of Nuigo, who is the woman from this small village who navigates the complexities of motherhood and the cultural and societal expectations. Nuigo's journey in Imicheta's work offers a poignant examination of the sacrifices and struggle faced by women in their roles as mothers, as well as the profound joy and reward that come with motherhood. Uh, Amicheta's vivid storytelling and insightful portrait of Nigerian culture and traditions make the choice of motherhood compelling and through provoking read shedding light on the universal experience of woman and enduring strength of maternal love and the motherhood in the choice of motherhood. What is the motherhood? Motherhood is some part instinct and the scars and the powerful spiritual path for a woman to take. In literature, we see motherhood in other discourse, that motherhood is a required theme across the cultures in the literature. Buchi Imecheta applies Western feminist ideology of motherhood for criticizing the African patriarchal of and mothering and motherhood is believed to be the central focus of mother's isolation and operations, and it is right to say that the choice of motherhood is a kind of false consciousness. It really is a power relation, and women are duped into thinking that it holds any promise of sovereignty or free experiences. The novel is dedicated to all mothers, which often be with the first chapter, the mother, and it is also end with the last chapter, the colonized mother. Introduction of the character Nuigo as mother in the choice of motherhood. Nuigo running hysterically towards a river to commit suicide. After the death of her first child, the son named Gozi, this shocking thing immediately established the central importance Nuigo placed on motherhood. As the narration was back in the time, we learned that Nuigo was sent back from her first marriage to Ematoku because she could not conceive a child initially. This made Ematoku label her as barren as a desert and take a second pregnant by neglecting Nuigo. The passage vividly portrays Nuigo's uh, desperate longing to become a mother. She tries to uh, surreptitiously breastfeeding her co-wife Ematoku's newborn son and whispering that, "Why did you not come to me? I cried in the night and long for a child like you." When her breasts start leaking milk, she appears to her God and asking why she cannot have her own child when she is not born. When after facing his humiliation of being called Ban, and Nuigo is married off by her father again. She married with the name in Lagos. The passage shows that a pair by name unattractive appearance initially, but reveals that she started loving that ugly and a fat man when he made her pregnant. When she got uh, Nuigo states bluntly that with this son, I'm going to start loving this man. He has made me a real man, a real woman, and all I want it to be a woman and as a mother. This lays bare how consumed that she is by the singular goal of motherhood to validate her womanhood. After years of sacrificing everything for her family, Nuigo is forced to realize that the joy is, I think a mother was the joy of giving all to her children. And Nuigo's death her children built a stream in her memory where woman can seek her blessing to conceive children. However, the expectation that she should continue to bless otherwise fertility, Nuigo choose not to grant such blessing from beyond the grave. In the talk with the Adiola, Bucci Imecheta said that in choice of motherhood, I created a woman who had 8 children and died by the wayside. This is the story of Nuigo, representation of sorrow of motherhood. Nuigo faced a victimization and enslavement to the dictates of a traditional Igbo culture and regarding woman primary role as child barrier. And despite her intense desire for children, motherhood brings her nothing but relinquishment and disgrace and failure. She faces the abandonment, and abuse from her husband when unable to conceive immediately. The death of her children, the death of her children, caused her immense of grief and depression. She is burdened by poverty, and she struggled to provide for her many children with little support for the school fees of her children. Her belief that son will take care of her in old age, in sheltering when they leave, but they all are leave her. She feels impressed and enslaved by her love and responsibility towards her children. In the end, when she died alone on the road with none of her children by her side, she achieved little fulfillment despite her incredible sacrifices as a mother. The sacrifices and hardship. Nico faced neglect and abuse from her first husband when she is unable to conceive children, and he even take a second wife, adding to her distress. With multiple children, including twins, Nuigo felt impre- imprisoned and enslaved by the love and responsibility of the motherhood that drained her physically and emotionally. Her belief that her son will support her, but her proves false. And when he leaves Nigeria and shattering her hopes of a joyful old age taken care of by them. All her immense sacrifices as a mother, Nuigo died alone and unnoticed on the roadside while none of her children by her side. African versus Indian motherhood. In traditional African societies, represented in the novel, the choice of motherhood. Motherhood is highly venerated and seen as a woman's primary role and source of status. And having many children, especially a son, is considered essentially for a woman's security and respect in her old age. Motherhood still highly valued in Indian culture. There seems to be more recognizing of mother's right to education and independence outside of the mother's role. The novel critique on how American women's identity are subsumed into motherhood with little room of individual self-fulfillment. Indian feminism has worked toward giving mothers more choices beyond just being mothers and wives. Both culture, the African culture and Indian culture, both cultures are traditionally promoted prolific motherhood and associated a woman's worth with her fertility. And however, Indian feminists have challenged this more openly compared to what is depicted in the African context of the novel. The character of Noigo, when she was not pregnant, that time she was dead, and when she have many children, that time she is dead because her children leave her alone, and they are not with her when she died. These are the example of movie Mother India, which is connected with the motherhood. The movie Mother India, uh, uh, the movie is released in 1957, and In this movie, the Nargis role in the Radha, and, she also sacrifices for the for her son, and also faces the tragic death of her son in the both in the novel and also in the movie. Nuigo and the Radha induce poverty and hardship while single-handedly supporting her family throughout hard labor. After her husband's absent of husbands, and her entire identity is subsumed into being an ideal long-suffering mother, and the Mother India and the joys of motherhood both the celebrate the resilience and love and sacrifices in her, in, inherent in motherhood, while also highlighting the profound joy and reward that comes with nurturing and caring for own children. And both the mother plays a role in the shaping the life of their children, but at the end, they both Radha and Nuigo both find herself in alone. Uh, the second example is the from the serial Anupama. Anupama is also faced the challenges in traditional mother and the stereotype by showing the character as a strong, dimensional woman who leaves her ungrateful husband and his son to rediscover her independence while still being a caring mom. This also the depiction provides an alternative to the um, mythicization of mother that interact with Luigo. Anupama deals with the loss of in her marriage and strained relationship with her son. Both the Radha and Anupama, with the burden of societal expectation and around being an ideal wife and mother, but both the characters Anupama and Radha both they find that they feel alone because the behavior of their children, and in the serial Anupama we find that the uh, Anupama's role as a mother, and how their children are behaving with her and fight a lot with her. And also in the Mother India movie, the Mother India, the title also represent as the movies, whole movie in the title Mother. The third example is from old age home. We find the old age homes in around our city, and we saw many mothers which are immense and hardship, sacrificing their own experience and comfort to ensure that their children receive an education, opportunities, and a better future. Uh, but the children refuse to shoulder her responsibility, and the mother brought up their children with so much care. But once they become old and they deny to take up responsibility, and where the mothers selflessly sacrifices their own well-being and uh, aspirations to provide for their children, and only to face rejection or neglect in their later years. we find the old ages home where the children put put their mother and they are refused to take with them because they have to go abroad or their wives are not taking responsibility of the mother and when mothers are ill or they can't take responsibility of the mother uh, they uh, they put their mothers in the old age homes. In the conclusion, this work is powerfully defined to spark a contrast between the glorification of motherhood in society and the actual lived realities of mothers in our society and also in the literature. The protagonist Nuigo have to endure immense to personal sacrifices hardship and suffering into order to live up to the social expectation of ideal motherhood within the patriarchal framework and the story underscore how the societal veneration of mother is often coupled with a lack of autonomy financially and struggle and denial the individual desires beyond their prescribed role. And this narrative serves as a poignant critique of the heavy burden and cost associated with the uh, pedestalization of the motherhood across the culture while also celebrating the resilience and strength of mother in the adversity and as a mother she compelled society to reevaluate its gender norms and provides more support system to alleviate and the challenges mother encounter. These are the resources.
So, Nirali, as you said about so many mothers from serials, so what is your opinion about mothers in digital age, considering that the use of nannies as temporary replacements for mother is common nowadays?
Yes, Richa. As I mentioned in my slide, that many examples from serials and movies which are doing all the sacrifices and for her child. But in this digital age, we find the nanny for taking care of the children and we find it in our busy society and our busy life of as a digital age woman. We find many nannies, they are taking care as like a mother and they get the salary for this work and
Nirali, in what ways does the novel explore the idea of motherhood as a both source of joy and burden?
when we find that Nuigo was not pregnant with her first husband, and she faced many problems by the society, and they said to Nuiko that she can't pregnant, and the all the and that time she said, and the when she got pregnant with her second marriage, and at that time she feels very joyful life, and as a joyful motherhood. But when she sacrifices and all the things for her children, but in the end of the her life, she finds that her children are not with her, and they all are live here alone. This is the burden for